AJ, have you ever ordered a pizza and then have it shown up and have everything be smushed to one side, like the fucking delivery person couldn't even be bothered to hold the pizza straight when bringing it to you? Like everything just slid to one side, all the cheese is pushed up against the wall, and like half the pizza is just fucking useless because it's just like a little bit of sauce and crust. It's
like stuck to the top of the box.
Yeah.
It has happened once to me, Brian, and it is the only time I've ever left a negative review on anything ever,
dude.
And I was just like, I just went off, and I was like, this is, yeah. Dude, you can imagine. I was very angry.
We're so hungry that like, because I wanted to take a picture, I wanted to write an angry email. I said, fuck it. I'm like, I'm too hungry. My hunger outweighs my anger. Is we just started like we got a fork out and started just dragging the cheese from one corner of the box onto the empty. It was really sad. We had to eat pizza with our eyes closed because it was just kind of pathetic.
I'm gonna send you a pizza soon to make up for this injustice.
Oh, AJ, you're so sweet. You're so sweet that I think we should start the show
with anchovies.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
This is PSVR GameScast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wes-day, and 2 Eyes Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live at 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure on video format. That's what we do. Yes, the Capcom Showcase is right below us because, well, if something happens, we don't want to mess out. We don't want you to miss out, and we also don't want to miss out. We also do podcast services of your choice if you like to listen with your ears. Mine is Brian Powell from this channel right here, PSVR2 Without Parole, and this gentleman over here to my right is AJ from The Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, man? You know what's nice about Capcom Showcases? They don't get your videos pulled from YouTube immediately. Actually, believe it or not, Capcom are super nice with like streamers and the community and stuff. They even removed from Mr. Capcom himself, removed a copyright claim from one of my videos once, and I was like, oh,
listen,
Capcom,
you're gonna
didn't have to do that.
No, you're gonna need to introduce me to Mr. Capcom, man, because I have when Resident Evil Village first got announced, their entire announcement trailer was copyrighted, and so that I got claims left and right all over the place.
But I appealed that. I got claimed for the same Village.
Who's got time for that?
And I appealed it, and it got removed.
Who's got time for that? The answer is
that old Mr. Capcom's
got
big
time
old
for
sweetheart.
Give
me my money, Capcom.
Mr. Capcom.
I give you so much money. Give me some money back.
Minner71 in the chest is anyone else having problems with Walkabout Golf? I try Upside Down and the game crashes. You'll be happy to know, Minners, that has been addressed. If you update your game, that should all be taken care of. You should not have any more crashes anymore. Fingers crossed. Let us know if it keeps happening. AJ, dude, what's going on, man? What's going on over on your channel? If you guys don't already subscribe to AJ, make sure you click the description, expand the description, see all those links, click on AJ's link, and go subscribe to his channel at PSVR Underground. AJ, what's happening over there? Why should we subscribe? Talk to me.
Dude, we've been having a blast over at the Underground, man. Well, unfortunately, a lot of stuff I've been doing, we can't even talk about yet, unfortunately. But good news is I beat Redacted, and I also beat Redacted 2.
The sequel to Redacted. Got it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then, so I did that over the weekend. Of course, had Saturday Night Live stream. That was a lot of fun. We got some Poker Stars VR in there. We got some Walkabout mini golf, some Gran Turismo 7, and then I tried Les Mills Body Combat.
Yeah.
And my God, like I don't know, man. It's not good. It's really bad. In fact,
tell me about it, man. Because I stopped over on your stream to watch you play a little bit of Walkabout. I was a little bummed, honestly, because if I had known Walkabout is one of those games that if anybody's like, do you want to play Walkabout right now? I'd be like, let's jump in and let's play a game, because 2 players can blast through a course in like 20 minutes. And so I absolutely would have jumped in there and played on your Saturday Night live stream with you if you would have had me. But then after I saw you play that, you were like, I'm going to play Les Mills. And I was like, I am out. So talk to me about it, because I haven't even started that game up, man. Tell me all about it.
Well, first of all, dude, Walkabout, man. I played the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea course for the first time, and it was excellent. I remember you saying that was one of your favorites, and it did not disappoint. It was super great. I love that game, and I'm really slowly taking my time with that game and having a lot of fun. But then I go to Les Mills, and man, this is really supposed to be more of a workout app than a game. And that's kind of what it is. It kind of borrows from Box VR. It's a lot like Box VR.
Okay. Which I kind of liked.
And yeah.
Prefer a group workout game. Like, we didn't have much else. Group workout was good.
I feel like Box VR was kind of better.
Box VR had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
There's a massive asterisk next to, I like Box VR.
Like, I don't know, something about the intensity of Box VR I liked, and this really, you really have to make your own intensity here. I put it on like I was starting out, and I'm like, okay, right, left, and then I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just go crazy. And I put on the Fury mode, and it's got these like, the game has these, or the app has these like FMV like live action FMV style, like people in them talking to you. They're your trainers, and the dude's like, "Oi, mate! Oh, you just did it now. I'm proud of you for being so brave to try this crazy mode."
I'm so irritated already.
And then I start it, and it's literally just the same thing, just like right, left. And I was like, what was all like the hyping me up about? Like, I was getting like excited, like, yeah, like, we're going to do this shit. And it was like the same thing, but it's just, especially for the price, it's just not very good, man. It's not Kazuna AI bad. It's not What the Bat bad. Well, yeah, it's not Kazuna AI bad. But yeah, it just wasn't great. But anyways, that's why you should go check me out over at the Underground, because half the shit I do, I'm not allowed to show you, and the other half is just me playing. Yeah,
you make
games.
It sound like you're just living in a cave and no one will ever see the shit that you've been working on. But embargoes are part of life, and eventually you will see everything that AJ's been working on. Your Long Shadows in the chat says AJ really took one for the team. I'm sorry, Your Long Shadows. Did you not see my Break Stuff VR review? Which, by the way, to their credit, they address every single one of my complaints. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, I said it's too expensive. They made it $10 instead of $20. I said it takes too long to like get to the next level. They have to all the requirements. I said this bat isn't strong enough. It won't even break this glass case. They made the bat stronger. Like, to their credit, they fixed a lot of the problems with the game. I still don't like it very much. But you gotta give them a little pat on the back for that, right?
Yeah. And Johnny Ripop has a good point. He says AJ likes Box VR better because he loves that soundtrack. The soundtrack of Box VR is better than Les Mills.
Box VR, when I listen to the Box VR soundtrack when I'm working out, I don't just listen to the Box VR soundtrack while I'm taking a shower or I'm drifting off to sleep. It's the Box VR soundtrack makes me go want to listen to good bands of the songs that they're ripping off.
Yeah. There's a lot of like cheap free music, like, it's very generic and just bad, and that's the one thing a lot. That's why I love. That's why I like got a much more respect for some of these other rhythm games, because they actually invest into the music. Even Beat Saber, which is like, I'm not crazy about their soundtrack, but it's really good compared to some of these like free copyright royalty free YouTube tracks or wherever they get these from. They're awful. And I just,
Bearded Power 666 has anyone tried Tripp yet? It's a $60 meditation app, I believe. I have not tried it yet. I just got in contact with them. I said, please give me a key, because this is the only way I'm going to cover the game. I'm never like this, AJ. I'm never like, oh, if you don't give me a key, I'm not going to review the game, because that's not really who I am. But really, I've got so many good things that I want to review, and so many in so many things I'm interested in. I have zero interest in Tripp. I have zero interest in reviewing Tripp and spending like half of a week doing that. But if they send the key, of course, I'll spend some time and check it out, because I know a lot of cats out there are curious about it. So I'll let you know.
I played it on PSVR1.
Oh yeah. What was? It's just meditation. Wait, is this RE4? Is this RE4? Is this what we're doing right now? Hold on a second. We're gonna go full screen.
Hold on. RE4 watch. Shit,
turn it up. Turning it up.
VR, baby.
Cutting-edge knife action is a core part of the game.
Same footage.
And the PlayStation VR2 Sense controller makes parrying even more intuitive.
Come on.
Experience extreme survival horror firsthand.
Same footage, but it looks
Resident
fucking
Evil
great.
4 VR mode is a free DLC exclusive to PlayStation VR2.
They did. They said it was going to be the exact same thing as Village, basically.
Okay.
I think. Please tell me there's more. Are they really moving on?
Today's lineup.
You know, it was man. That was it was the same trailer we got as we expected.
All right.
Dude, I can't remember. Oh my god.
Yeah, is this more Exo Primal, man? Exo Primal just bothers me because I just want it to be Dino Crisis.
I think this is Pragmata.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Legendary with the Canadian $5 tip says, anyone played Brain Beats? It's on the PlayStation Store. I played it on PlayStation VR 1. It is bad. It's a bad Beat Saber ripoff. And actually, there's another tip here. I'm sorry, I don't want to get too far away from this. Not sure, Brondo, way back at the beginning of the stream with the $5 tip says, no comment, nothing to say. Carry on. Kind of sounds like it's a line from I Want to Be Sedated, to be honest. AJ, tell me about Tripp.
Hopefully my mic is fixed, because it said I got turned down during that stream thing.
Oh.
Maybe it was different for there.
I don't.
Check 1, 2. Is it okay? Electric Boogaloo.
Oh yeah, no,
Tripp,
it was down. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
No problem. Thank you, Sour Cat and Looper, for letting me know. So Tripp, I was expecting it to be complete garbage, as I do many games. And it actually wasn't. But at the end of the day, it's kind of just it's really just breathing exercises at its best. It literally just tells you to take a deep breath and to exhale. And that's about it, which is, you know, healthy for you at the end of the day. Like, it's good for you. And like visually, it was like, okay, it wasn't great. I've seen worse things out there, but I don't, the price point of $60 is like, they are smoking some shit, because like, holy crap, man. $60 for this. I understand why they have that structure, is because they're typically like a monthly fee, like subscription kind of thing. So they're likely just saying, hopefully this is the case, is that they're likely just saying, pay $60 up front. You get like the lifetime pass until our game gets removed from the store and we can't afford to support it anymore after 6 months. But yeah, it wasn't garbage, but yeah, it's silly that it's $60 and it's not anything super special either.
All right. Well, good to know. Good to know. I'm looking forward to checking it out, I guess. I don't know what's worse, man, being like, hey, asking for a monthly subscription fee, or saying, give me all your money right now, because we don't trust that you want to stick around for more than a couple months. Either way, I hate subscription fees, but also $60 is kind of crazy.
Yeah. It costs more than Horizon. Like, or, it costs more than like everything in the library.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you know what? It's probably time to start the show. We always like to thank everybody who helps the channel out. We like to thank people who, support the channel financially and whatever. But it's Monday, man. And like every Monday, we like to do something very special. And what is that, AJ?
That is right, Brian. We like to thank those who support us in another way by changing the name to something GameCat related, or something GameCat adjacent, as you and something GameCat adjacent like to say. And this week we have 4 new GameCats to welcome to the GameCat Dojo. Starting with serial killer, the Glorb Cat.
Bing! Dude, the cat's really fucking took to your Glorb name. That was the Assassin's Creed.
That's the name of the device from Assassin's
Creed.
Right,
the Anubis, the Enoris. Hold on a second. It's still not on the screen. Where it is. Bing!
The Animus.
The Animus. You're an Animus.
We're
We're all unanimous. This is horrible. Somebody shut me up.
Next we have Izzard, GameCat adjacent. I love
Bing!
it.
Yeah, GameCat adjacent. There's not enough GameCat adjacents. Also, GameCat. I feel like a lot of the GameCat adjacents haven't been showing up lately, not like representing the GameCat adjacent squad. So glad Izzard is taking charge.
Well, I've got news for you, Brian, because we've also got daringly average Game Snake. Snake! We have a snake now.
Daringly average Game Snake. I believe this is our first Game Snake.
Yes, this is our first Game Snake.
Unless you've had a Game Snake before. This is my first.
GameCat. Love it. Yeah. Finally, last but certainly not least, we've got brewing illegal moonshine in the woods with AJ Cat. Hey,
Bing!
That's me.
Dude, do you have hobbies I'm unaware of? What is?
No.
Do you brew illegal moonshine in the woods? It's a very Georgian thing to do. It's a very Southern thing to do.
Southern, maybe. You know, what's funny about this was I totally didn't see the with AJ part, but the funny thing is my great grandmother, God rest her soul, before she passed, she was 99 years old. Mm-hmm. She told me a lot about my great grandfather, and he was actually a bootlegger, like I think in like the 20s or something. And yeah, he actually died on the job. He got deal went bad, and he got clubbed with one of those little what are those things called? I can't remember.
Club? He clubbed with a club? he got it like a not a slapjack. I don't remember what it's called. Just making things up now.
He died from severe head trauma from one of those things. But yeah, my great grandpa was a moonshiner.
You ever had real moonshine? I'm assuming in the South you have many times. No?
Several times. I might have moonshine in my pantry.
That's
right
it.
Now.
We're moving GameCat Meetup 2024 down to AJ's house. By the way, GameCat Meetup 2024 plans are moving along. I was in touch with the hotel that we're all going to be trying to get a group rate for. Make sure you join our Discord if you want to get in on the GameCat Meetup 2024. We'll be in Boston the same dates as PAX East, which is March 21st to 24th, I believe. Make sure you double check that on their website before we do anything. But yeah, there'll be we get all sorts of stuff planned, and this shit is going to be fun as hell. So yes, it's only June of 2023, but we need to plan this far ahead for March 2024.
I love you, cats. I love all the things that they filled in the blank for me when I couldn't think of the thing. I think it's called. It might be called a blackjack.
Just never.
It's been so long. I thought it was a something jack. Like how Gabriel 004 says, a police baton.
I mean,
no, it wasn't by the police.
You never know who's on the other side of these deals. Guys, if you change your name to GameCat here on YouTube or on Google to show your support, make sure you put hashtag GameCat in a comment below any of the videos on Without Parole, so that we can, we can see it. And we can give you a shout out in next week's show. AJ, Waleed is now a GameCat, specifically White Tiger with the Canadian 220, says, is redacted weeks away or months? I don't think it's really good for us to answer that question. Yes. Okay, good.
I already answered it. I said yes.
Okay, I will redact that statement. I'll redact it in post. Legendary with the $5 tip says, do you think Wipeout VR port will be a stealth drop? I'm assuming he means the Wipeout Omega collection on PSVR2. I mean, I hope not, but at this point, I really don't trust Sony to do anything right. So I feel like it's just going to be You know, when is Blood and Truth going to get released on PSVR1 and everybody's golf and Astrobot Rescue Mission? I mean, come on, guys. What is happening over there at Sony? This is the easy stuff. They're even screwing up the easy stuff. And if you screw up the easy stuff, I don't have a whole lot of faith when it comes to the hard stuff.
This is the Sony I'm used to and I love.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. Although, AJ, did you watch the Microsoft Xbox showcase today by any chance?
I did not. Yesterday, I watched the recap.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was yesterday. All my days are just mushed together.
No, I saw the recap and it seemed like it was pretty good. But that's about all I can say because I didn't really watch it. I just kind of watched like a summary of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. The Xbox showcase, I believe, at least, I'm sure opinions in the chat will differ. Please let me know what you guys think in the chat. I definitely want to hear those your thoughts. But I really thought that the Microsoft showcase is how you do a showcase. Like, it really was like showed a few star-studded games. Started with like Fable Reboot was the first thing they showed.
The surprises and the announcements were exciting, I thought. Yeah,
I mean, the surprises in the announcements for sure, and not all of these are going. No, certainly not all of these are Xbox exclusives, but neither are the ones at the Sony showcase. But they picked some really good games. They showed a Persona Tactics game. They showed
Hellblade,
Persona 3 remake. They showed the new game called like Metaphor or something like that from the Persona team. They showed In Exile. You remember In Exile, who made the Mage's Tale?
Yeah, like the Clockwork game.
Yeah, it was like, oh, yeah. Whatever. When Microsoft bought them, I was like, you can have them because the Mage's Tale is like such a divisive game here. And now it's like it was one of the coolest games at their showcase, and I was like, oh, I take it back. And In Exile, I miss you. I like that game. And I'll say Starfield's looking better than ever. I think this was a great showcase. It was
pretty good, man. But we need again. This isn't enough. We need someone to come out and like beat the shit out of Sony, like hurt them in their wallet where they actually start doing something. Because that's when you get good Sony. That's when you get like Super Saiyan Sony. Is when they're down on the ground and like they're beat up and they're losing. They're on their backs up against the wall. I miss that Sony because that Sony was fucking unstoppable.
Here real quick, we got Mark Pringlesleaf with the £5 said, gutted. We will talk about this in a moment. Gutted that Assassin's Creed VR is a Mega Quest exclusive. I was looking forward to a PSVR2 version. I mean, we can just fucking talk about it right now if you want to, because I'll tell you, AJ, it's a little disconcerting that they didn't show a single second of anything.
No way.
They showed it was on screen for like a solid 30 seconds to a minute or so. Like it was on screen for a while. And it was all like that same Attack on Titan bullshit where it was like, here's what the game's gonna look like, but it's not at all game footage or anything like that. It was just, it's like, it was kind of like, wouldn't this be cool in VR footage, but not actual game footage?
Oh my God, it's a CGI trailer? I'm just watching it now. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This game's been in development. This game's been in development for like 4 years. And they show a CGI trailer? Oh, good God.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Really, really, I mean, I don't know. Nathy actually posted some screenshots. I believe Nathy went hands-on with Assassin's Creed a while ago, and came away fairly impressed for what it was, very linear. And he showed some screenshots on Twitter that like were fine, right? But very much like the best you can kind of expect on Quest looking game, so not great.
What is with this year, man? What is with this year of like super CGI overload? Like, what is going on?
Yeah,
it's really weird.
Yeah, these
are games that are coming out this year.
I know, dude. Like, Arizona Sunshine 2 has me so concerned, and no one else seems like. And it seems like every single game that gets revealed is all CGI, and it's and there's just no one is. Why isn't anyone out there just being like, this is absolute bullshit? Like these games are coming out in the next 5 months. Right? Most games don't come out in December. Most games hit the holiday like by mid-November at the latest. and there's no gameplay footage. It's very concerning, man. Very concerning.
It's very weird.
Yeah,
very weird. At least some of the games we've seen that are coming out. We've seen Pixel Ripped comes out this week.
Week. Oh, sorry.
We've seen gameplay of that. We've seen gameplay of actually there's been some other ones. They're not like on the big, like all the big showcase games are all CGI. Like, what's up with that shit?
Well, I mean, okay, so in all fairness, if you watch the Ubisoft showcase, it was all, they were trying to be like, oh, look how pretty these games are, Avatar and Star Wars Outlaws, like, fucking pretty games, dude. And you can't just throw Assassin's Creed VR Nexus into the middle of that and not get laughter. Right, because by contrast, people who are not familiar with VR are just gonna be like, "Oh my god, VR is definitely not there yet." No, even if it's a better looking Quest game compared to something like Star Wars Outlaws, it would have been embarrassing, right? You just can't show footage like that back to back with other AAA games. Doesn't work.
I suppose a Quest game maybe.
Yeah,
like especially if it looks all questy.
It's a little questy,
yeah.
and I'm assuming that the images that Nathan showed were like Quest 2, which again is like probably the best I've seen Quest 2 look. And then so Quest 3 will probably have an enhanced version of it, which is what they really need.
Yeah, I get it in some degree, but like every trailer, come on, man.
Samson143VR in the chat with a $2 tip says, I need to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon like that bitch I was crammed in. Shit, dude. I'll tell you, man, I'm not a big fan of comedies, but I could watch Half Baked every fucking day for the rest of my life. Ridiculous.
It's funny.
AJ, 25 minutes in, we should probably start the show. We had a couple viewer takeover questions over on our Discord. If you want to ask viewer takeover questions, if you don't want to spend any money, we fucking got you. We got your back. Don't forget to go over to Discord, leave your question or statement or whatever in the viewer takeover channel, and I always look through that and see if there's any good questions or comments before the show starts, and I copy and paste them into the run of show, just like I did with Digital Delirium, who said, is anyone else disappointed by Sony? Boy, you kind of knew what this show was about, didn't you? They had years to develop a VR space, and yet we're still stuck with regular flat screen menus. They have the PlayStation Stars program to unlock cool PS stuff, and it easily could have been part of VR Home, and people would care. Love the PSVR2, but when is Sony going to put actual support behind it? AJ?
I mean, preaching to the choir, man. But what was I going to say? Yeah, I forgot. I was going to say something and I totally blanked on it. I was going to say righteous call out of the like no home environment. Yep. I mean, not only is there no home environment, like when PSVR 2 was coming out, we were like, oh, we're going to have a 3D environment. We're going to, we're going to be able to watch movies in movie theaters with our friends. Maybe we're going to at least be able to go see sporting events because that'll make a lot of money that people would pay for and watch in VR. Concerts and things like that. And then it gets here and it's like, no, it just plays games, which is like, what you get it for, but it's like some additional features, anything would be nice. Like no backwards compatibility, no, which I understand, but still like, it's like, okay, if you're not going to do one of these things, like do something. Like you can't even see the fucking home screen when you've got the VR on. But you know what's even weirder about that, Brian, is when you're in a game and you hold the PS button and it goes back to the main menu, then you can see it on the TV. So it's like, well, what is happening here? But yeah, man, just features wise, it's terrible. Like for like additional features.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so
creature comfort features.
Listen, I mean, if I have a hard time being real upset, honestly, about there not being a VR home space, right? Because when I turn on my PlayStation VR 2, it's certainly not PlayStation 1 levels of friction, right? You put the thing on, everything starts up, there's no problems turning the controllers on anymore. You turn one on, it says, okay, now turn the other one on. It's like, boom, good to go. You already see your home screen. And then you get the nice little rumble with the headset when you turn that on, which is sweet. But but then then it checks your space. It looks around, with pass through, and then that takes a second. And so like it's these little things that add up. And the last thing I need to do is like load up a virtual space or whatever that requires anything more. Like I'm absolutely fine with being like, okay, here's the game I want to play. I am like, I mean, like if,
dude, I don't know, man.
I'm
even if it's for 2 seconds,
Yep.
even if I'm in this screen for like 2 seconds or whatever, I still want to be in that like 3D environment or something. Or
I mean, that's fine, I guess.
Have a cool visual, the presentation, like a good visual presentation. Every time, I really thought that every time I was going to boot up my PSVR2, that I was going to get like a PSVR Worlds introduction. Like that would be fine. And like, just a cool, dude, again, it's just, is it like necessary? No.
Right.
But it just seems like a basic thing at this point. It just seems like a basic feature that it should have had.
Listen, if it's loading that virtual space while it's checking my room, right? And so it's like this whole seamless thing, and I just don't want another second between me and getting into the game that I want to play, right? Because I just don't want that. Trust me, I want a virtual environment as long as it's super seamless and it easily takes the place of the PlayStation 5 XMB. That's fine. But if there's I don't want to sacrifice anything to get it, right? And so, and really, I'm mostly just concerned about the games. But you're right. Like leading up to launch, we were saying, well, at the very least, they need to give us big screen at launch so we can go watch a movie together, right? Because that's sort of just what we expect from VR headsets at this point, and we didn't even get that. So yeah,
just burning money, man. Just leaving money. That's the part that baffles me the most. Is like you can have developers create, like you can have artists create these environments and UIs and stuff and make money, and you can get a cut of it. You can have a movie theater thing where you rent a movie and you watch it with friends and several other friends. You can watch it at the same time together and you make money off of that. That's what I don't understand. It's like, not only are these great for consumers, but this makes you money too, which is like, what they're all about right now. So it's like, it's just baffling to me.
Yeah. No, it's understandable. I'm far more concerned about the game side of things. Like when it comes down to it, like way more concerned about the game side of things. When we didn't get all these PSVR 1 games at launch, right? It's fine. We don't get backwards compatibility. It's fine, right? But do absolutely everything in your power to make sure that every single great game that was on PSVR 1 makes its way over to PSVR 2, right? Like as the headset manufacturer, make sure that you go out and visit these third-party studios, make sure they have the tools required, make sure they have dev kits, make sure they have what they need to make that happen. And then as the owner of so many first-party studios who were involved with PSVR 1, get those ports fucking moving, right? And so I just don't know why that shit wasn't there at launch. It's a little disheartening, I think. Like I have no fear that those are coming. Xenomorph in the chat says, where are all the hybrid games? I have no fear that those are coming, right? We are almost 4 months into launch, right? Any console that's ever been successful always takes a couple years, especially these days. It takes a couple years to get rolling, right? And we wanted that shit right from the beginning. We wanted it from day one. We wanted it to just be this powerhouse console with the PS5 and powerhouse headset, and everything just work together and take advantage of it. We wanted PSVR 2 years ago when PS5 launched, and we didn't get that, right? We were like, oh, every day that passes, the power seems like less and less cool that it can use from the PS5, and to a degree, that's true. Right, because it's given Quest a chance to get caught up, and Quest 3 is going to look a lot closer to PSVR 2, than it would have 2 years ago. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a struggle.
Yeah, to be honest with you, most of the stuff we've hoped for, it does eventually happen. The problem is, so far, it's just not happening as soon as we hope for. It's just we were just really ahead of where the state of everything actually is like, but I'm with you there. I mean, every console, I've been a console gamer my whole life, and it's usually like it takes some time before it really gets going. I just didn't want that to be the same way with this, you know. And I do think, to be fair, I do think this is like one of the best launches I've ever experienced of anything. I used to like wait a year or two to before I'd buy a console. Every single PlayStation, I would always wait a year or two or something. And or for like a certain game. And this PS5 and stuff was the first time that I actually bought something like day one. And honestly, I don't regret it either. Like it's been pretty amazing. And as we're eventually going to get to today, like there's lots of reasons to be excited for, you know, the marketing might be all jacked up and things, but there's some badass games that it's like, if you're sleeping on these, then you are completely missing the point of having your headset, because man, there's really some gold and some great things happening on this headset, even right now, that you don't really want to sleep on. Yes, I want all these other things, and I'm never going to let that go until we get them. But at the same time, it's like, hold up. We need to also take a look at what we actually have right now and make sure we don't overlook that, because it's good.
Yeah. I mean, you know, as much as we complain, like we're always going to be here complaining, wanting more, wanting things better, wanting whatever, because that's, well, we're gamers and we're entitled. But at the same time, like, you know, we want PlayStation VR2 to be the best thing that it can possibly be, and we know that it hasn't reached its full potential. We've seen things that it can be, and the fact that not all games are reaching that potential, the fact that we're not getting all the games that we should be getting for it, the fact that, you know, we haven't, you know, we've talked about hybrid games for 2 years now, but Sony has yet to talk about hybrid games ever publicly, and so it's just going to take some time. But yeah, I'm super happy with the launch that we had. We had so many games. I'm still catching up on launch games. Absolutely ridiculous. Anybody who says there's not enough games, or that there's just no support, or that Sony's not pulling their weight. Like honestly, like when it comes to games, here, you know what? Instead of me answering this question before we get to it, PPO Kojima, with the next viewer takeover question, says, with Capcom taking the lead of the hybrid approach so far this generation, do you think any other studios will step up? I think we need to be very clear on something. The only reason that Capcom is the lead of the hybrid approach this generation is because Sony is paying them millions of dollars to do so. Like very few studios are gonna just voluntarily be like, you know, oh, there's no one here that's into VR on our team, right? Just some random third-party studio that made some big game, you know, and unless they have some kind of incentive, right? And I think it's going to take a little while, right? And it's going to take Sony paying a lot of different studios millions of dollars to bring their games over to VR and have people go, oh my God, this is insane, this is great. And then also see sales figures skyrocket. And I say skyrocket, I mean in the VR land of skyrocketing. It's much smaller than like, you know, flat screen gaming. And if I think if developers are going, oh man, they just sold another, you know, million units of Dead Space because they put it into VR. Like we could totally do that for, you know, for not that much money. Let's do it. And it's going to become cyclical, but that cycle hasn't even started yet. It's going very, very slowly. We got Village, we're getting Resident Evil 4, but like, I think very few third parties are privy to that sales information, and hopefully Sony will use that to convince them to make their games hybrid moving forward.
It benefits the headset. It benefits us probably more than it benefits some developers, especially the ones that, you know, are out there selling 20 million and on their own. Like they don't need anybody else. They don't need anything else. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I mean, I think a lot of developers out there should never pass on the chance to get to innovate and really, like, you know, test the boundaries of what their team is capable of. And I think that's where the fun part is, you know, it kind of getting to pioneer this technology and stuff. And that's part of the fun in it. And there's not every studio is in the position to be able to take risks. You know, if you look at some of the recent games, it's like they were and when you read interviews and look at what they're saying and their kind of body language they're giving off, it's like, dude, we're just happy we got this game out and it wasn't a train wreck. I mean, because, I mean, yeah, it's stuff like Dead Island. Dead Island was like kind of like a happy a happy story in the end. But then you look at all these other studios where it's just like I look at what's going on in like non-VR gaming, and I'm seeing like all these studios like posting this like, we're sorry, like we know that this didn't live up to expectations. It's like, well, you still released it and you still took everybody's money. Right. So your excuse, your apology means jack shit. I mean, look at what's going on over there, and then if you look at what's going on here, it may be smaller, but you're seeing devs innovate. You're seeing devs take the biggest risk of them all, and actually producing some pretty badass stuff. So it's smaller. It doesn't have as much as much revenue yet. I think we're still a long way from that, but I sure do think we'll still see Sony giving people money to eventually to start trying some things like we did with, even with like Hitman 3 late in the life cycle, and by then it's going to be much cheaper than it is right now too, and we're going to get some crazy shit for sure. It's just we got a little bit of waiting to do.
Yeah, a little bit of waiting, but honestly, like I think this year's looking fantastic. Like it's not like we're waiting without anything to play. Yeah, this
summer
looks great. the next month or so looks great. I mean, things just keep getting announced. Things keep happening. Games keep getting released. I mean, this week alone, we're getting Pixel Rip 78, and we're getting Survive, which is like a fucking, according to the developers and most people that I've talked to, it's like a 15 to 20 hour campaign that supports up to 1 to 4 players, and it's way different than your typical like After the Fall or something like that. It's it's not your typical zombie shooter. It's this open world mission based, team based campaign that like just it's about exploration just as much as it's about combat, about item management, just as it is about weapon management, item management, whatever, man. There's a lot going on in this fucking game, and I can't wait to play it on PSVR2, because on PSVR1 it was pretty rough. So this week alone, I'm excited for. I don't have my hands on Survive yet, but hopefully, if we do get keys, we can get the whole Without Parole crew in for some multiplayer zombie shooting action.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I enjoyed it, despite the rough edges. I enjoyed it on PSVR 1, so yeah. I look forward to going back and playing the rest of it on PSVR 2.
Man Bear Pig Gamecat with the $2 tip says Undead Citadel sound effects need improvements. Gameplay janky. Yeah, I've heard Undead Citadel isn't fantastic. It is it just released over on Steam. Obviously the PlayStation VR2 version is probably a few months away. And I hope they can polish it up before it comes our way, because that game has been a long time in the making, and it sucks that it sounds like it's a little below average. What can you do?
Kind of, I was hoping it was going to be really good, but I'll be honest with you, like they don't have, like, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt on anything, because they haven't proven shit to me yet. And as excited as I am for that game, all I've seen is the fucking horde mode, and it's like that's not even the part of the game I'm interested in. Is the same section with the same thing, so yeah. I'm hopeful that it's good, but yeah, they got to earn it from me for sure.
Niles around the game Feline with the $5 tip says, "Hey, do you guys know anything about this Throwdown game that just appeared in the announced section of the PlayStation Store? Only what you know. It's been on the store for a couple weeks now. It looks like it's like trying to imitate UFC, but there's no screenshots, and I'm not, even the description doesn't instill me with a whole lot of confidence. So when we know more, you'll know more." Niles Ryan. Jim Perona with the $2 tip says, "Love the positive perspective. PSVR 2 is already fire." Thank you, JP. All right, man. You know what we got to do before it gets like fucking crazy late? We got to dive into these showcases that have been happening, because that's what we promised people we would be doing here. So let's knock these things out one by one, man. First showcase that we saw was on. Now this is, obviously there's been a lot of showcases. We're just talking since the last time you've seen me and AJ. On June 8th was Summer Game Fest. Now, Summer Game Fest had literally one VR game in it, and that was Crossfire Sierra Squad. AJ, what did they show here for Crossfire Sierra Squad's Summer Game Fest?
They showed a mixture, Brian, of live action Call of Duty ripoff style trailer with some actual gameplay, and it was nice to see. To be honest with you, man, I'm excited about Crossfire Sierra Squad. Like, I don't know how it's going to go. I hope it doesn't end up like the last Crossfire game that I've heard just the worst things about. But I don't. It doesn't look like it will, and I'm really excited about Crossfire. I need another good kind of just modern military shooter style thing that's kind of got some arcade mechanics to it, and some co-op. And I'm pretty excited about this one.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's one of these games that I've been saying for a while now. Just stop showing me footage. We just want to play it. Like you can keep showing me all these huge set pieces and stuff, but all you're doing is taking away the excitement for when I finally play it, because I'll have already seen these big moments take place on a trailer. So stop showing me stuff and just let the game come out. I did like that they mentioned multiplayer. They showed like literally 2 seconds of a 2-player mode, and that was good, man. Like, that's good. Like, that's the stuff that like we're most excited for. Obviously, the campaign is single player only, but but people want to see more of what the multiplayer stuff offers. So that's all good.
It seems like there's more multiplayer than there is single player, because there's 13 solo missions, 50 2-player co-op, and then some 4-player horde mode.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, that makes sense. Like, it seems like there's more, but like we have no idea. These 50 2-player missions could be like a minute long each. We have no idea. So we'll have to see once we go hands on with it. But yeah, I mean, that is absolutely the hope. I'd be totally fine with that.
Like Your Long Shadows says, high effort trailer. I dig it.
Yeah. I mean, this looks like there's a lot of polish in this trailer. Like, a lot, especially for a game that I would call it a PlayStation VR2 exclusive, but it's not, because it's also coming to PSVR. But still, there's a lot of money behind this, so hopefully the game delivers. Yeah. We did get a release window. I'm not sure if you mentioned that when you were explaining everything. A release window of August. Prior to this, they had only said summer. So at least they're like slowly narrowing the window down. The next time we see this, they're going to be like sometime during the 3rd week of August. We're going to be like, all right, that's better than the last time. Sure. All right.
Yeah. We heard summer, and then there was the PS blog that was wrong. Isn't it funny how many? I mean, the PS blog of all things has been like leaking a bunch of stuff and like leaking incorrect information. Is
it a leak when it's just wrong?
of all places. I mean, that's why. But yeah, man, August. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Also, in case anybody missed it, the PlayStation link that AJ is talking about is on PlayStation.com. Listed the wrong release date for Crossfire Sierra Squad, and then I think that same day posted an article that said Until You Fall is coming to PSVR2 June 6th, and I think they posted that on June 6th,
the day after,
which is
it was like June 7th.
But wait, I mean, I think I saw it on the 6th, and then by the 7th, I was like, well, I guess it's not coming out. So very patiently waited to see if that was true or not. But yeah, I mean, hey, at least we're getting Until You Fall. I'm not thrilled with the fact that we only got one VR game at Summer Game Fest. That was a little disappointing, but at least it's a game we're excited about, and we've got a little bit of new information about it. If it was just like the same trailer we've been watching, it would have been really disappointing. That brings us to June 10th, which was the Wholesome Direct. Now, this one snuck by a lot of people because there's just too many fucking indie game shows, AJ, and like no one can keep track of all of them, and especially when it's a big show of indie games. What's up?
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, please do.
I thought I watched the Summer Games Fest. Is that the one that was hosted by
Summer Game Fest is Jeff Keighley.
Oh, Jeff Keighley. There was something. What the hell did I watch then?
I don't know.
That had Laura Bailey and some other dude on it. What was I watching? If that wasn't Summer Games Fest,
was it? Wait, was it?
It still showed a bunch
of the Spider-Man guy, because the Spider-Man guy was on the Games Radar Future Game Show. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it was Future Game Show. That's what I was. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm confused.
And we'll get to that in just a second, AJ, because June 10th was Wholesome Direct, and Wholesome Direct got past me completely because, like I said, there was just too many other stuff. A lot of indie showcases going on. Devolver Digital had theirs, and this and that, and blah blah blah, whatever. And so the Wholesome show got past me, and they showed off not much, but a new clip of Sushi Ben, which is
Oh,
yeah.
I want to see a new clip of Sushi Ben.
Oh, well then here, I'll go full screen and you'll just be behind the rest of the world. Here we go.
This game is not usually anything I'm into, but this game looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks awesome. I love that it's just so over the top, that it's obviously Japanese inspired, and it's got like fishing, it's got ghost hunting. I hope it's fun to play because I freaking love all the random ass crazy shit that I'm seeing everywhere else with it.
Yeah, the thing that got me interested in this was all the manga panels that like are 3D, like they actually have depth to the panels. And I'd been following this guy on Twitter when he was like kind of showing off those manga panels in VR. Long before I knew it was a PlayStation VR2 game, long before we knew the name of the game, and when it finally got announced as a PSVR2 game, I was thrilled because it just looks adorable. It has a great art style, and I'm a little nervous that it's just going to be a collection of mini games. But if the mini games are fun, then fuck it, this could be really cool.
That's my only thing is like I love, like I said, the ghost hunting thing about it, the fishing. It's just if the mini games or the gameplay is lacking, which, let's be real, there's a possibility. That's gonna be a deal breaker for me. But I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah. And that actually brings us to the Games Radar showcase, which was called the Future Games Show. Mostly indie games, but that's also where we saw the most VR stuff happening. It was they started off with Sea Smash, which is by Wolf and Wood. It's coming up pretty soon. Is that this?
Yeah, when does that
this
come
month, out? Right?
20, yes. Sea Smash comes out. I'll let you know in just a second.
Oh,
it's
excellent.
The 23rd.
Yeah, I mean,
and honestly,
we didn't even mention this game, and it's 11 days away when we're talking about how great this month is.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of people, there was some new game that popped up on the PlayStation Store that's like some Tennis 1 thing, and I saw some people saying, how come you're not talking about that? Well, to be honest with you, I think Sea Smash seems way cooler. I'm way more interested in playing the full game of Sea Smash than I am generic quest game.
It's also impossible for us to talk about a game that hasn't even released a screenshot or trailers or anything else. I've been trying to find.
I've only seen quest gameplay of it, or like a quest trailer or whatever.
I swear that I looked for it and couldn't find anything. So that's good that there's something.
It looks okay. It kind of reminds me of that. What was the tennis game that we had on PSVR 1?
Is it Dream Match Tennis?
Yeah, Dream Match Tennis.
Yeah, which, I mean, the physics were fantastic in that, even if it like, and I guess the court looked nice.
This is about the same, but I like creativity and I like getting weird with shit, and that's what Sea Smash is all about. And it's Sega based, so I'm much more interested. But yeah, I don't think Sea Smash has gotten a lot of love, but I'm interested to play it. I enjoyed the demo, and I'm interested to play more. I think it's going to be actually pretty cool.
Yeah, the demo wasn't quite working properly when I got my hands on it, and it was fine, right? And I just didn't know if I was gonna like fall in love with it. So definitely interested in getting my hands on the full version, trying out all the different game modes, because this one they're showing right there looked like Spark. Not all of them are the same, so this could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We need something to replace Spark. I miss Spark.
Yeah.
They followed this up with Madison VR, which I'll tell you, man, as somebody who loves me some horror games and loves me some perp games, they pay me to say that. I'm just kidding. They didn't say me. That didn't happen. I feel like they dropped the ball with this. This is all they showed for Madison VR. This was, depressing.
I liked what they showed, but it was like, it wasn't a good presentation or anything. Like I was like, okay, that's, it's just more CGI, and it's like, it was definitely a letdown in terms of like, you know. But that being said, man, listen, I've been telling people like I'm really, really excited about this. Like, this is my most anticipated horror game. We get all these garbage.
You're not most anticipated more than Resident Evil 4, AJ?
This year, okay? This year, confirmed this year.
Okay, fine.
Is my workaround. Plus, Resident Evil is kind of like it's very much an action adventure at this point for me with some scary stuff. Yes, it is technically a horror game as well. This is like to me, this is kind of like, well, let me stick to what I've said first, which is confirmed this year, coming soon. Yes, this is my most anticipated game. That's just a pure horror game, such as like PT or Fatal Frame or Silent Hill or something like that, where it's just like its goal is to scare the absolute shit out of you. And like I need that right now. I need something that is like our only goal is to scare you really bad. I need something like that pretty bad right now.
Yeah, and as somebody who played a good chunk of this game on Switch, as I've said before, running at 17 frames per second, I think the puzzles are actually really well done because it's very much an escape room game, and nothing scarier than in an escape room than like also being scared out of your mind, because you're definitely stuck in these places, and you just never know when something's going to happen. The environments are very realistic, especially like, everything I've seen running on like better gen stuff like PlayStation 5. Really, really impressive. So yeah, I think this is going to be great. I just wish that they showed at least a couple seconds of real gameplay running through the house, something, I don't know. The drip feed is killing me on this. I'm only disappointed because I really want to play it. I think that's the reason. Also, I don't know. I don't know how I could be disappointed by this, but again, I think they kind of showed most of this trailer already. This was VR Skater, right? I'm pretty sure that this is the same song from the last trailer. This is a lot of the same footage from the last trailer. I think they added just a couple more things. I could be totally wrong about this. I haven't looked at the last trailer and this trailer side by side, but I'm happy this was in. I'm happy this was in the future game show. I'm happy this maybe got some more eyes on VR Skater, because this game is fucking fun to play. It really is, and I don't think that is really going to come across to people until they actually get in there and do it for themselves and pull these tricks off for themselves. It feels really, they're hard. It's hard to do, so that's why it's more satisfying to land a trick, because you're like, oh shit, I finally did it. Like, I've been practicing this for 10 minutes. Feels good.
I'm excited about this one. Is it July 21st? Is that when it comes out? Because there's been some confusion whether it's June or July.
Oh, I don't know.
The last thing I saw on this was actually July 21st, and I thought it was like June 21st, or like June 16th or something. And I don't know where I saw that from, but I thought it was like from an official thing. Apparently not. Apparently it's July.
Okay.
So we got another month for this one. I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not even looking it up. I've got too much shit to deal with right now that, like, when this game comes out, like, seriously, even though I've already went hands on with it, I am nervous about this game because, like, I'm not great at games. Probably a bad thing to admit. But like, it takes
me better than you give yourself credit for.
I think it takes me longer to learn basic gameplay mechanics than it takes other people. And so when this game comes out, I'm going to be nervous, or if we get review keys for this, I'm going to be nervous because I just have to spend the whole day like learning tricks. And because I just ate shit every 5 seconds in this game. But that said, really rewarding. And I can't wait to get back to it. For a game that pissed me off and made me fall on my face more times than I can count, the fact that I wanted to keep getting back up and keep learning these tricks and keep trying to perform a combo and like, one trick into the next, that speaks worlds to me. If I want to keep doing it, even when I suck at it, that's everything you need to know.
We are long overdue for a game like this.
Hell
so
yeah.
I'm excited.
Super fun. What's the next one, AJ? What else did they show us at?
The other thing they showed us was a new Firewall 0 Hour trailer. We got to see Frankie Boy come up and talk about Firewall, which and they you know, they gave a little spiel on it.
I just love seeing Frank like full screen. Nothing makes me happier. And I said, "Oh boy," by the way, not because of Frank, just because of Firewall not showing any real new footage here.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing is like, I think that's what's been kind of killing some of the announcements is like, yes, all this stuff is great. It's really exciting. We're really looking forward to it. But yeah, it does take away a little bit of the excitement when it's like, you know, we've seen this already, or we've known this is coming, or, you know, but it seemed like, I could be mistaken, but it seemed like there was a little bit of new footage here. Nothing huge that was like newly revealed, but at least that I caught. But it's Firewall, man, and this is even though I'm a little nervous about this game, I am definitely very excited about it overall.
Tatum in the chat says, "Why does it look like Frank always just woke up?"
It did look like, yeah, like he does need a little bit of hair gel.
Because I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming. Without the hat on, I'm even worse. I look terrible all day, and then I put the hat on and convince you guys that I showered for this.
I need to send Frank a beanie.
What is that?
This is why I wear a beanie.
That'd be awesome. And then I guess that brings us to the end of the Games Radar Future Game Show. And then right into today, which was Ubisoft Forward, is that what they call it? And they showed Assassin's Creed, but didn't show Assassin's Creed, which was, I mean, disappointing that it didn't have the PlayStation VR2 logo on it. I'm fine with that. I mean, not fine. You know, let me take that.
It's not coming to PlayStation VR2.
I know.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't really decide, AJ, right? Because I feel like this is like, sorry, sirens on my end. I feel like this is Assassin's Creed of the Mountain, right? Like I feel like that's what's happening here. It's just not going to be like the full Assassin's Creed experience that people want, and I feel like a lot of people might be let down by that.
I don't know. There was another game, however, that was announced during the beginning of Summer Games Fest. Brian, did you want to say anything else about Assassin's Creed? Because I don't care.
I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it quite a bit before the show. If there was anything else to say about it, you know, like there's not much to say about it because they didn't even show us any fucking gameplay. Another embarrassing reveal, which I'm just kind of tired of. You know, actually, if anyone's curious about this, I can.
I'm also not expecting it on PSVR 2, so
yeah, I can get this up on the screen in just a second here. What were you going to say, AJ? Bring us on to the next story while I do this.
Well, during the Summer Games Fest, this wasn't an official announcement with it, but this was actually probably one of my favorite things I saw was we got a release date and a brand new trailer with loads of gameplay, Brian. Majority, if not all, gameplay for Hellsweeper. Yeah, dude. This looks fantastic. I was glad to see that. It seemed like there was like some miscommunication somewhere. People weren't sure if this release date actually meant PlayStation VR 2 or just PC. Excuse me. And it turns out the September 21st release date that they announced with this trailer is for all headsets. And dude, for somebody who was disappointed with the way Sirento looked on PlayStation VR 1, but not the way that it played, I feel like we're finally going to get our cake and eat it too, because this looks, I love the way the environments look here. And I'm assuming that the gameplay is going to be very similar to Sirento. If we can't do backflips and slow motion and, you know, wall runs and chain all those things together into one big swooping motion, well then they did something wrong. Well, they've already confirmed some of that. I don't know about backflips and stuff, but I know that there's wall running, and I know that there's a crazy locomotion system just like that was. And yeah, we've always compared this to being like the Devil May Cry gameplay in VR that we've longed for forever ago. And yeah, man, it really does. You know, we've been following this game way before development started, or at least a good, like, you know, when it was probably just on paper what this game was. But they talked about how, you know, a big thing that they messed up with Sirento was they focused on all this stuff that they just didn't have the capacity for. And rather than doubling down on the gameplay and the weapons and the enemies and stuff, they tried to add a story, and that was like the biggest downfall of Sirento. Was like it just ended up kind of becoming just an arena fighter because the story was so terrible, and like the game loop was not very good. It was fun to play, but there was no game loop. This, as we've seen now, actually has a game loop, and as you just posted in the chat,
everybody vote
with a
they're called a poll.
It's got a roguelike mode, which they've described it now.
AJ, in my humble opinion, which is the only correct opinion, this was the only right way for them to go. Like, Mixed Realms realized that they were terrible at making a campaign. They said, we're instead of delivering a bad campaign this time, we're not going to give you a campaign. But instead, they added a roguelike mode, which I'm assuming is going to be the campaign. I don't really know how they're going to like work this in, but in my book, this is the only way for them to do what they wanted to do and make it feel like you're doing something, which I never really felt like I was doing in Sirento. I always felt like I was just spinning my wheels. Yeah, I'd unlock a weapon or something here and there, but I wasn't progressing. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't feel like I was, filling XP bars. I didn't feel like I was progressing through a story. And somehow roguelikes circumvent that and make you feel like you're progressing without really the need of a story. And so I feel like this is the perfect case. I know people are sick of roguelikes. A lot of people are. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Only 8% of you hate them. Only 8% of you are sick of them. So I take it back. Those 8% are really fucking loud if you ever read the comments on Without Parole. They're like, oh, another roguelike. Yeah, but, roguelikes can be fun. This was the only right path, in my opinion. If you're not going to do a campaign, then yeah, take advantage of roguelike elements and give your game some kind of replayability.
Yeah, as we've seen with a couple games now that they've added, they've used these roguelike mechanics to kind of give a fun game loop to the games, and it works because I think leveling up, XP, unlocking stuff is part of the gameplay, that the part of the progression system, but that's not an actual game loop. Right. That's just that's not, I don't know. It's not enough. It's like, that's like,
yeah, the randomness of it, the different things that you might encounter, oh man, my brain just shut down. The procedural generation of the levels, whatever it is, gives you this big question mark every single time you jump into the game and you say, I wonder how it's going to go this time, right? Cosmo Dread did it great. Until You Fall does it great. Indie Soul in the chat says roguelikes are for developers who can't make a full campaign. 100%. Mixed Realms couldn't make a full campaign. They proved that with Sirento. And so I 100% agree with you. And I kind of think that's where End Dreams is right now, at least a studio that's making Synapse, right? Because they proved with Fract that they didn't have it in their budget or their time frame that they were allowed to make a full campaign. And if Fract was somehow utilized roguelike elements, then we would have been able to play that game for fucking 15 hours instead of 2. Right? And so yeah, absolutely. This is a great hack for developers figuring out how to make a campaign when they don't have the money to do so. Yeah, I mean, I understand where some people are coming from, saying think of me. It's easy to write it off as kind of like a cop out, a way of whatever. But at the same time, it's like you said, it's better than the alternative, which is either a terrible story or terrible campaign or no anything at all, like an arena brawler. I'll take roguelike over that all day. Yeah. People in the chat asking about what a roguelike is, and the definition that Serial Killer put up in the chat is a very technical term, and you can watch hours and hours of people going in depth about what the definition of roguelike versus roguelite are, and but really we've simplified that immensely. Roguelike in general is when you play through a campaign, and when you die, you don't have a second life, you don't have a continue, you die and you start back over from the beginning of the game with nothing. Now, roguelite, and usually there's some kind of randomly generated stuff involved in there. You don't know what weapons you're going to find, you don't know how the map is going to be laid out, you don't know, like everything's sort of randomly placed, a lot of random elements. If you find power-ups, they're usually randomized, all that stuff. And then a roguelite, more specifically, is when you have basically the same thing as a roguelike, but there are things that carry over from run to run. Like with Cosmo Dread, you find blueprints. Those don't go away. Every time you die. You do die and you lose all your stuff, but at least on your next run, once you're able to craft items, all the blueprints you've ever found since the first time you played are available to craft. So there are things that carry over. That's the difference between roguelike and roguelite.
Roguelites have been much more popular these days.
Yeah, big time. But yeah, there's also you can also go super fucking deep with these definitions and basically contradict everything I just said. There are people who are like, absolutely not, Brian. That is not the definition of a roguelike or a roguelite. So
I don't think anyone's going to be arguing with you here, man.
Excellent.
You're good.
Nice.
You're safe here.
Now we do have 2 more showcases coming up. I'm sorry, that's not true. I can get rid of the Capcom one because we just watched the Capcom one while we were doing the show. And spoilers if you missed the beginning of the show. Why did they do another showcase? I'm so confused. That was just the same stuff they showed at the last showcase, like Exo Primal and whatever. I don't know, man. I'm just losing my. At least Capcom's still making Resident Evil games, so there's that.
Yeah, Capcom, dude. They're fine. They're in their golden age right now, and they need to just they get a free pass on anything right now.
For sure. I thought I was downloading the Nexus trailer. Here, you guys can see the Nexus trailer while we shoot this shit here. The next thing that I guess we'll be paying attention to, and I guess we'll probably co-stream it over here on Without Parole. It's happening on the 14th, which is Wednesday. Oh, that'll be interesting. Wes-day. It's the Upload VR showcase. Typically very meta focused, right? So we'll see a lot of Quest games, but just like the Meta showcase, we'll see a lot of PlayStation VR2 games. Are you hopeful for the Upload showcase, AJ?
Yeah, it could be okay.
Yeah,
we might see Redacted 1 or 2 there.
Ooh, I could go for some Redacteds. Yeah, and now that of course PlayStation VR2 is out, and a lot of people use Upload as their kind of like go-to website to promote their game. We've seen that happen quite a few times. It's very possible that we could see some bigger titles this year than we saw last year. So fingers crossed, because we could certainly use, as great as the rest of this year looks, new announcements are always exciting, and I like when the excitement level stays high. AJ.
Me too.
Yeah. What are we doing? Oh, you know what we're doing? We're playing 20 questions.
Nice.
Yes. All right. AJ is the host of 20 questions. Here, real quick. What was the result of this poll here that's like stuck on the screen?
It's actually, dude, love them. 29% love roguelites. Mm-hmm. 10% hate them, and 61% say they're okay. I put they're okay because I think they're just okay.
That's not too bad. That's probably about the same as we'd get for horror games, AJ.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Maybe you should run a horror poll right now.
Yeah. Oh, Kato093 says roguelites look forward to Synapse in Foglands. Maybe I just blanked on this, but did we know that Foglands was a roguelite? That's
yes.
Cool. Well, then I'm more excited for it because
I like them. I think I could understand some people being like, okay, like every game, it's like roguelites. This is the thing. Roguelites are the new zombie game, Brian. That's why you get these people that are like leaving these crazy comments, like so just out of pure frustration and things. That's why, because so many games are roguelites. They're literally eclipsing zombie games at this point, and that's why you have those people like that.
Yeah. I mean, dude, throughout the course of video game history, every single genre has had their time in the spotlight, right? I mean, we had the longest the longest period of time with the NES and SNES, where platformers were king. Right, tail end of that was fighting games, obviously.
Platformers, 3D platformers.
Yeah.
Fighting games.
Yep. Every genre has kind of had its time in the sun. So it's just the time of roguelites. What can I say? What's the problem? If you don't like it, take a nap. By the time you wake up, it'll be over.
There's lots of cheap knockoff RPGs for a while. There's also lots of really good ones.
Dude, I miss I know that most people would probably point to the Super Nintendo
PS1.
era. Super Nintendo era for no, but that's what I was going to say is that I think the PS1 was the reigning champ of some of the best RPGs ever made.
Absolutely.
That was the heyday of Squaresoft. I think even better, and don't shoot me for this, but I think even better than the SNES era. I think they really hit their stride, and they were just coming out with these fucking epic RPGs. Dude,
the most random RPG, something as random as fuck, like Breath of Fire 3 was still incredible. But I know what you mean though. The reason, because there were some good ones on SNES, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasies, of course, and yeah, there was a lot of good ones, man.
Yeah,
we could get we'll save this for our secret retro podcast that nobody knows about.
I swear to you, if you gave me an hour to talk about PlayStation 1 every single week, I would do that for a year easily.
Yep.
All right, man. It's time to play 20 questions. AJ's the host this time. That means he's got a PlayStation VR 1 or 2 game up in his head underneath that beanie somewhere. And it's our job to figure out what
gonna
game
be, bro.
Watch out, Frank. Your beanie's coming. We'll figure out what game that is with 20 yes or no questions and only 6 minutes on the clock. I got to get my notebook ready because this is always a shit show. Guys, in the chat, help me out with good questions to ask, good suggestions of games based on the answers we're getting. And what was the other thing? I don't know. Just help me out because I fucking need it. Parasite Eve, yes. Go, damn it, God.
Damn it, go deep.
That's what it is. Parasite Eve was fucking killer though. Parasite Eve 1 was awesome. Parasite Eve 2 lesser, and then we don't talk about what happened after that. All right, man. I'm gonna put 6 minutes up on the clock. Are you ready, AJ?
I is ready.
On your market does go. Has this game been released or announced for PSVR 2?
No.
You're already AJ.
Thought I'd be that easy.
Okay. PSVR 1 only, guys. Was this game Marcus
McIntyre came fucking prepared today. He was ready for he came out with darkness.
You are AJing the fuck out of this right now. You're taking all my time. Do you know what you're doing right now? Yeah.
It's what I do.
Okay. Does this game require the move controllers?
Yes, it does.
Whoa. Okay, good. Are you mostly shooting in this game?
Yes, you are mostly shooting in this game.
Okay, I'm gonna burn a question just because I need to know. Are you shooting guns? Are they guns? Rather than shooting arrows, or shooting things out of your hand,
like shooting at guns. Like shooting guns, like shooting at guns.
You were AJing the fuck out of this. Do you shoot guns in this game?
You do shoot guns in this game.
Wow, I hate you so much.
Or maybe just a gun.
All of my time away. Maybe one gun. Okay.
Maybe one gun at a time. Maybe guns. Yeah, something like that.
All right, somebody read into that and figure that out. Let's see.
Into it.
Mark Pringlesleaf says, is it part of a known franchise? And that could be like an IP outside of gaming or whatever.
No, it's not part of a known franchise. Okay. I mean, it is now, but no. No, it's not part of a known franchise. That's 5.
Has this developer made other PSVR 1 games?
Yes, they have made other PSVR 1 games, you said? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Does this game have any multiplayer?
No, this game does not have any multiplayer of any kind.
Okay. Damn.
Now you're aging it.
I really am. I'm losing my mind right now. Is it a puzzle game?
No, it's not a damn puzzle game.
Okay, so the shooting without puzzles. Okay.
Puzzle.
Oh, do you have? Yeah, Looper is wondering if it's a rail shooter, but let's go. Does it have full locomotion? Let's figure that out.
It does have full locomotion.
Okay. Is it sci-fi?
Not really.
Okay.
That's 10.
Okay. Vargolsoft, does it have cartoony graphics like Borderlands?
I would actually say it kind of does have cartoony graphics like Borderlands. Yeah.
Okay, we know it's not Borderlands though, guys, because it requires the moves. Xenomorph, no, we already know it has full locomotion.
Just a reminder, AJ, you like puzzle games now. I like puzzle games with guns.
Can't be Wanderer because it's not a puzzle game. Rush of Blood, no, because it's not. No. Was this game made by N-Dreams?
This game was perhaps made by N-Dreams.
Did I mention the name of this game during today's show?
You did mention it. You spoiled it, you bastard.
That eliminates everything but Fracked.
With 14 questions or 13 questions and one answer, you have guessed correctly. With Fracked by N-Dreams, an awesome but very short action adventure shooter.
Yep.
with some great moments. And these are the reason I wanted to bring it up is, of course, these are guys that making Synapse. That's coming. The only game that's not fully redacted right now. And we shared our impressions on the demo. And I think I would have liked when you mentioned it, I was like, yeah, like I would have. Well, I don't think I would have cared for Fracked being a roguelite. What I would have liked is if they made some replayability to those skiing levels, those ski challenges, because oh my God, those were so fun. And that was probably my most disappointing thing about it, was like, it's like you didn't add anything, like not even like a collectathon or something just for around those skiing levels. But anyways, N-Dreams are killing it. Fracked was awesome. And I'm hoping Synapse is going to be amazing because I honestly have been wanting to play it over and over and over.
Yeah. Fracked is a game that it dances weird tightrope, right? Because like I would have been like, dude, give us some DLC for this game, right? Like give us like an entire side mission, like, and do it Moss style, right? Where it's like, it's just kind of like integrated into the game where like, first time players don't even know that the game's been artificially extended by this DLC. You just go off down this different path and then you end up, near the end of the game, not miss anything. But then everybody would be like, well, this needs to be free DLC because we just paid way too much for this game. Because it was like, was this a $40 game or what was this? 30? I forget what it was at launch, but I feel, and I know there was a deluxe edition, so that's the tough part. But I feel like
it was 30 or 35.
Yeah. I just feel like they would have killed it.
It's $29.99. The deluxe edition is $34.99.
Okay.
The regular game is $29.99.
Yeah, some DLC would have been awesome, but then of course everybody would have been like, it needs to be free because we paid too much for the 2-hour game. So it was kind of a catch-22 with them. And plus I'm pretty sure, Fracked was paid for by Sony. So like, I don't think Sony was like, okay, now we're going to pay you more to go make some DLC. No, it's like time to move on. So yeah. As short as this game was, I still think it was an awesome experience. I feel like this game does what a lot of games don't do, and that's they really
throw you off a helicopter.
I mean, yeah, throw you off a helicopter. Have like the climbing in this game wasn't overdone, right? And a lot of it was really impactful. You climb and climb and climb. The ladder they're showing right now, you climb pretty far, and then you look down, you're like, holy shit, I'm really high up in the air. Like, and it gives you that kind of vertigo sense. Then there's other times where you're climbing where it's like you're climbing off of things that are falling apart, like and you're trying. It's like an action movie sequence.
Those little action movie sequences were great. Like the train collapsing like up in the air and stuff. It was very Uncharted like.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ski sections here were just like some of my favorite VR gaming of all time. Just sadly a little short-lived, but those skiing sections were incredible.
Hell yeah. AJ, what's coming up this week on the Underground? What's happening over on your channel?
Oh, just I don't know, man. I have no idea. I've got some things I'm working on. Dude, there's so many games coming, you guys, that you need to be excited about. There's a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. It's going to be a fantastic summer, and I'm just getting ready for that. Literally all my free time, Brian, the little free time I have, I really have just had time to just play games. We have so much stuff coming that I'm just like, all I have time to do is just try and play and beat games. And I'm starting there. And then if I get lucky, I can make some videos on it too with a little bit of extra free time and stuff. But yeah, man, other than that, just you can always count on Thursday interactive chat, aka GAMESCAST by myself, or Saturday night live streams are back.
It's not what it's called, AJ. It's not called GAMESCAST by yourself.
Okay, fine. It's GAMESCAST without Brian.
Hell yeah, man. All right, you guys. Thank you everybody for hanging out and watching the show today. Thank you everybody who supports the channel financially, whether that be on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or over here by becoming a member. Thank you everybody who tips in the chat. Thanks to everybody who participated in 20 questions, changed your name to Gamecat, and all of you sat back and watched the show and didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. We love you just as much. It's Monday, AJ. Can I cue the cat?
That's goddamn right, Brian. You got to cue that cat, because I want to say see you guys on Wes-day to Danorama Pajama, the game Cat's Pet Llama. You said it right.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Oh, man. I just can't say it any other way.
Yep.
My newest Patreon, dude. What up, Danorama Pajama? Thank you so much. Says, wait, Redacted is Behemoth? I hope so. We never know. Scott, the PSVR game Cat for life, says, cue the mofo cat, Brian, because AJ wants to say bye-bye. Guys, so fist bump to you. Chrome Colossus, thumbs up to you, my friend. Gabio 004, good license to meow game cat. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Secrets up. Cheers to you, my friend. Aceville, you have a great week as well, my friend. Dan Kitty, VR.
Dan Kitty.
You fit right in here. Yes.
Nice.
Mark, Pringles Leaf. Once he pops, the fun don't stop, Brian. Move Master Mick, the shape throwing PSVR game cat says, ta-ta for now, boys. Steve IRE, thank you so much, man. Tuning in from Ireland. 4D says, I want to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon like that bitch, Alice Cramden, because it's hard being black and gifted. Sometimes I just want to throw it all down and get lifted.
Wow,
That's
did you
deep, bro.
Did you
That's
look
deep.
that up? Did you look up the lyrics? Because I had to.
Ruthless metal.
No comment.
Kato 93.
No
Adios to you.
Oh man, dude.
Jason Voorhees.
Ooh.
I'm sorry your game is ending, but I heard it was good at least.
Dude, have you paid attention to this outro like that? Because the thing that's connected to cue the cat is this super old outro from GamesCast Live that hasn't been updated in like a fucking ever, like literally ever. It's like the games that it shows are like Moss, Arizona Sunshine, Spark. I was like, okay, it's time to fucking update this with some PSVR2 games. I'm really gonna take care of that this week. But yeah, plenty of stuff coming on the channel this week, guys. Reviews. And at least whatever happens with Survive, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with Survive, but I'm excited to play it. So hopefully, at the very least,
oh god,
yeah, at the very least, we'll do some gameplay. We'll do some live streams of that. So
I was just thinking like, oh, I finally got done playing everything. Nope, Survive's coming, and that might be the longest game.
It's the longest game we've gotten
it's
in
like the
years.
final boss. It's the final boss.
Yeah,
no, it's not even close. But guys, like I've always said, it's the best. We have the best problem right now, and while there's people out there thinking there's no games here, it's like, man, we're just out here getting fat on some good games.
Hell yeah, getting fat
and pizza,
mostly pizza.
I'm back on my diet actually.
Oh,
I can't eat pizza anymore unless it's my special pizza.
Okay, is this appropriate for a live show? Like, do you want to talk about?
I've talked about it before.
I mean, if you want to talk
is it appropriate for the? Do you know what happens on this live show, Brian? Do I need to bring up the history of this live show to see if going on a diet is appropriate?
I mean, I guess if you're going on the history of the show, then everything's appropriate.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
There's literally nothing.
Okay.
We're able
All right.
to not
Uh-huh.
Say.
All right. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Meow.
Meow.